So I'm so excited to announce I got a book contract for my third book. In this video, I just wanted to talk a little bit about how I got the book contract and what the book's about. It's funny because about 2 or 3 years ago, I was so angry about the state of academic publishing and how it relies on free labor. As academics, you know, we write academic journal articles that are completely unpaid, that take a lot of our time, and journal articles in turn rely on reviewers to review these articles that are completely unpaid. And the entire labor structure, the editors of the journals, the editors of special editions, the editors of anthology books, they're all unpaid. And yet academic publishing is a multi-billion-dollar industry and actually an academic knowledge cartel, because one company might own thousands and thousands of journals, and then university libraries have to subscribe to the entire bundle, which might cost $60,000, $100,000. And so it's really quite an exploitative industry. And so for a while I was just not wanting to really participate at all. But right now I've come back to it and I'm really inspired to just do a lot of writing lately. My first book was on heavily tattooed women and female tattoo artists, and so you can see some videos on the work I've done there. My second book was on digital nomads, laptop remote workers who travel around the world and work remotely and enjoy their ability to travel and see the world. And so this third book is actually based on a YouTube video I made, which was titled something like How to Write an Academic Article in 5 Days. And the publisher, Edward Elgar from the UK, actually approached me and said that they were interested in inviting me to write an entire book on how to write an academic article. They have a series of academic how-to style books on various topics within the academic career. And so the publisher asked me if I would be interested in writing an entire book on the topic of how to write an academic journal article. Now, I know this sounds so boring, and that's a lot of what I do on YouTube, is just focus on the technical aspects of the academic career. While people go to school and they get their PhD, they don't really learn the technical details of how to have a successful academic career and just the steps that are necessary. You know, as we know in academia, there's the slogan publish or perish. And so you really do have a lot of pressure to publish academically. You're supposed to publish in high-ranking journals in your field, and some people write single author articles like I do. Some people write collaborative pieces, so there's lots of names on the article. So basically I'm going to write a book on how to write an academic article. It's going to be a very clear, concise book about this particular steps of how to achieve that. And so the topic might sound really boring. The thing is that publishing academic articles as an academic is absolutely central to our career. And so having a clear book on this step-by-step process, I think, is very useful. And it's certainly going to be very useful for me, because after I write this book, I'm really going to understand not only just the step-by-step how to write an academic article, but I really want to take a broader perspective on the academic publishing industry, how much money it's making as a global dominant industry, what the issues are within the industry, what editors are looking for. I want to interview some journal editors who can give some tips on the common mistakes that they see and what advice that they would give to especially junior authors. This is especially targeted to people who are in graduate school or who are early career academics. And so the tentative title for this book is called How to Write an Academic Journal Article in the Social Sciences, from literature review to publication. And so there'll be a chapter on how to compile your literature review, designing a research method, analyzing the data and organizing it for that particular audience, how to establish a writing schedule. One of the biggest problems that academics face is that in graduate school they just have this endless time to spend all day reading and writing, and now that they're on the tenure clock, they have very little time. And so how do you really get some writing done when you have a really busy schedule? I personally am really good at using very small amount of time. If I have an hour, if I have 30 minutes, I can sit down and get something done. And so that's, of course, the type of writing schedule that I encourage folks to use, because really that's just a lot more realistic when folks are working, folks have families, and so on. The book will talk about the editing process and then the submission process. The article will take an unexpectedly long amount of time to get the reviewers to review it and get back to you, and to get the response from the journal. And the most likely response is either a rejection or a revise and resubmit. And so that means that you get these 2 or 3 reviewers who are telling you how to change the article to be a better fit for the journal. And so there's always going to be this kind of maddening revision process. And then this is just a process that academics have to do over and over again. And so the earlier that we really pay attention to understanding academic publishing and how to approach it in a very methodical manner is going to really help our careers. And so I'm excited for this book. I'm excited to be able to really break down and demystify this process and make it as clear as possible. And I think this is a great segue into a future book I'd really like to write that is just looking more broadly at the academic profession in general, the experiences of professors, but also just hopefully that book could also have a chapter on the publishing industry. So I'm just really excited to announce that, I have my book number 3 coming. I'm currently on sabbatical traveling around Southeast Asia. I'm currently in Kuala Lumpur right now, looking out at this amazing view from this rented condo that I have here for 2 weeks, where I'm going to try to get some work done. So it's just the absolute perfect time to get this contract, because I got it right at the beginning of my sabbatical and I didn't have other plans for my writing. So this was just absolutely perfect, and the book should be done within a year and come out in the following year. So hopefully some of you that are academics will be interested in reading this book in the future. If you're a journal editor, I would love to hear from you to learn about what kind of tips you would give on authors that submit to your journal. And if you're an academic author, I'd love to hear about your experience. Or if you're a graduate student, I'd love to hear about your anxieties or the questions that you have, and that the lack of knowledge that graduate school is not really giving to graduate students. I hope that some of you that are on your academic journey career will be interested in this book, and I look forward to writing it.